from the cold theaters of the world. This is Circuit Breaker. Brought to you by the entertainment site awardcircuit.com. An in-depth chat on film, television, and all the award shows that need predicting. Here's your host, Clayton Davis.
Hello, readers, and welcome to Circuit Breaker, brought to you by the entertainment website awardcircuit.com. Your editor-in-chief and owner, Clayton Davis, here today on July 19th, 2020. Time of recording is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is episode 195. Here today with Joey.
Hey.
Aaron Peterson.
Hello.
And His Royal Highness, the court jester.
Royal pain in the ass, more like.
The horrible man himself.
I don't know that you can be a Royal Highness and a court jester.
I think you could be, right?
I mean,
if you find out, midway through your service that actually, you had rights to the throne.
Yeah. Maybe. Or if you had rights to the throne and you were, had the behavior of, I don't know, me.
Yeah,
true.
You could be a Royal Highness court jester.
I think we can just agree that you're a fool, and
I think that's unanimous.
However we break it down.
Episode 195. Yeah, I said that. Okay,
respect your elders.
Yeah. Got a lot of stuff to talk about because it's all bad news, really. So let's just get through all of that.
Welcome to 2020.
Just want to make everyone I think it's important to just announce, I think I stopped for maybe 2 or 3 weeks and I probably should start again. Social distancing is very important. Please socially distance in your place of town where you live and other places around the world. It is not a hoax. Please socially distance.
And wear a mask.
And wear a goddamn mask. Life comes at you fast. Ask Chuck Woolery. Wear a fucking mask. Jesus Christ. Okay. But let's start with the worst news of all, because we can get through that the quickest.
Yeah.
47th Telluride Film Festival is canceled due to the pandemic. She doesn't like to say I told you so, but she sure said it that day. Karen Peterson.
We had that argument, and she was.
Can I just say though? I think I swear to God, I'm being 100% here. I think they were going to go on. This got forced on them.
Which is exactly what I said. I said it would be canceled through not their own choice.
Yeah, and not canceled because of COVID. I think they still would have had COVID or not. It got canceled once they lost venues.
Yeah.
That's where they had no choice. Because you can't extend, because it was a great plan, all in theory. Extend the festival a day. You put smaller amount of people in the theaters. You have people go to the screenings. You can still do your festival. People can get in all the movies. It may not be at all the breaking times and all that, but you can make it work. And I think it was a great idea in theory. And then once you lost the venues, then you can't do that. It's not worth it because Mark, just imagine for 10 seconds that you went to Telluride and you got to see like 2 movies.
He does it more than 10 seconds every day. What are you talking about?
But how? Like, just from a personal standpoint, would you be like super pissed by that? Like. That you saw 2, and considering, and everyone knows this, so we're not sharing anything that you don't know. This is the only film festival for press, and I know this is like first world problems. I know that every other regular moviegoer does this, so I don't mean this to be condescending or whatever. But this is the only film festival in the United States, or probably anywhere that I can really think of, that charges press to go to their festival. Mm-hmm. And the passes are $800 per person. So,
and this year you'd be paying to see Soul 3 weeks early.
Yeah. And I would have been cool with that. I would have been cool. The crop of movies wouldn't have really bothered me as much. It's just I would have wanted to get a good amount of the movies I would want to get in. Yeah. And I think for me, bare minimum had to be like 8. I would have had to see 8 movies to be like, okay, I was okay with this. Yeah. But anything less than that, I would have been super pissed by. So, yeah. Mark, do you want to give your thoughts so we can quote you in the New York Times article that will undoubtedly drop about the suicide of Mark Johnson in August?
Your epitaph. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know. Damn you, 2020. That's all.
Yeah, 2020 fucking shit.
God, it's the worst.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It is the worst.
Joey, you know what I thought of, by the way? When Telluride canceled, we have not gotten our things for NYFF yet.
Yeah. Did you also see the Telluride cancellation where they mentioned other festivals showing their movies instead?
Well, yeah. That was their whole combo plan that, you know, no exclusives, blah 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 blah, and they were just going to venture forward. But I realized at this point in time, you and I are already submitted our stuff for NYFF, and listen, I don't think NYFF is happening either.
But I can't imagine.
It's probably close. Last year, August is when they tell us we got.
Well, we would already submitted our letters already by this point,
probably,
and we haven't. Yeah, like I know for a fact because I always submit mine like at the beginning of July, end of June, and then you would submit yours around this time, and then we would find out August, and then at that point we're waiting for a press schedule, and none of that's happened. So there's that.
Yeah, they're not sure what's happening yet. I mean, for New York, it's going to rely on just theaters.
Listen, Karen, this is Karen's point all along, and this is really all our points, but Karen really drove it home. And in partnership with New York specifically, of all the festivals, I don't know, considering what has happened in New York the past 6 months, that you could, with face, hold a film festival. I don't know, like, how our city loses, you know, what is it, like 40,000 people, something like that, like out of New York alone, and we were like, yeah, let's have a film festival. Like, it's just not good face, and movie theaters are still closed. And at that point, what's the point?
You can't have it while saying the general public can't go to a movie theater or a museum. You know, there's no indoor space for you to go to like that, but we're going to have this pseudo-private event. You can't do that. Their hope, and I guess their only hope now, is that between now and then, do enter
falls from the sky.
Not even that.
That's what it is.
But that there is an opening for theaters in that way, because then they can claim they're following, you know, state protocol. Right now, they can't. So I think we're going to just have that scenario where we're not going to know. For another month or two at least.
And if they can't plan it now, then they're not going to do it. That's the thing. Like,
exactly. Just call it now. Yeah. And we'll find another way. And just to let readers know who aren't aware, and Mark, I don't know if you even really know this. So Telluride and most film festivals that we go to, there's multiple venues that you can go see movies and stuff like that. New York probably, it's interesting that everyone has their own unique thing. New York is the only film festival that I know of that. Oh, excuse me, dog. Yeah. Is that Karen's or Joey's?
Not mine.
Oh,
that's Ripley. Ripley must have seen a cat or something,
or saw an alien.
Yeah, xenomorph. Mark.
Yeah,
it's Ash.
Yeah.
It's Ash.
Yeah.
New York is the only film festival that all the press screenings are in the same venue, same theater every day.
99% of them. There's always like a one or two small ones.
There's one venue across the street that they use for the bigger films, that like the openers that like everyone goes to, that they have spillover, so they fill another theater, but it's mostly just out of one theater, which is the Walter Reed.
AFI is like that too, but it's a much smaller festival.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Everything is at the Chinese theater, except like depending on scheduling. Sometimes they'll do the big premieres at the Dolby, and they do have one other venue that's like a half a block down the street. That's just a single theater, just a single screen, and they'll do like big stuff there too. But other than that, everything is at the Chinese.
In like 8 years or whatever that I've gone, I've seen festival things at 3 different theaters in the entirety of it. There's the theater that Clayton was talking about, the spillover theater, where every once in a while there'll be a tiny thing. And then lately they've been doing, for the biggest movies, they've been doing the movie theater across the street, the AMC. But that's completely out of the question anyway. So
yeah.
that would probably not have been the case no matter what. Yeah. I wonder if there's a case that maybe the Walter Reed is classified differently, but still, I think it's so beyond the pale of figuring it out right now that their planning, if their planning is very basic.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the latest word on that. But we did get a festival announcement. Regardless, on the heels of that, Kate Winslet's going to receive a tribute award at the Toronto Film Festival. It'll be presented virtually on September 15th.
If you receive an award and no one's there to get it, did you still get it?
Yes, you got it. This is her. Listen, I think I don't know what Oscar land looks like. You know, I still think, despite the date announcement, I still think there's a road for a no Oscars this year. I'm really hoping we're not there, but I still think there's a road for that. So I'm going to act like that road doesn't exist and just speak about it accordingly. But this is good for her in partnership with her upcoming campaign, which will naturally be for Ammonite. I think that's how we're going to pronounce it until they come.
That's how you pronounce it.
Did you know that for sure?
That's how you pronounce that word. So yes.
Well, listen, for me and Terrence for a long time said Anna Karenina and didn't say Anna Karenina. So
that's not an old book or anything.
Yeah, but for a long time we were saying it. So I'm waiting for an Ammonite or something like.
No, it's Ammonite. It's
or like Amelie. People were saying Emily for the longest time.
It's because people can't speak French.
Yeah. You're one of those people that would say Casablanca. Then I bet.
No, I'll say Casablanca. Okay. Someone made fun of me because I said Nevada.
Ew.
Yeah, what do you say?
Nevada.
It's Nevada.
No, it's Nevada.
Gross.
I don't know. Now I don't know how to say Nevada.
Wait, what do you say? Say it. Where's Las Vegas? What state?
Nevada.
Oh, wait. I was trying to hear Mark say it.
Oh, sorry.
I'm pretty sure it's Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Nevada doesn't sound wrong. You know which one I have a hard time with? I know we're way off topic now. Oregon.
Oregon? Yeah, it's Oregon.
Yeah, did I say it right? Okay.
Yes.
I think I say Oregon sometimes.
Ew.
Oh, yeah. On train.
I think I totally messed that up.
Age, that's what it was.
What's that?
Proved your age because you think about Oregon Trail.
Yes. Oregon Trail.
No, it's Oregon Trail.
It was never the Oregon Trail.
I say Oregon Trail. Yeah, when I talk about Oregon, I say Oregon Trail.
You guys are weird. No, it's Oregon Trail.
Well, yeah, it's got an Oregon Trail, but everybody said Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Not here, they didn't.
Well, Mark, when you were growing up, no one had ever seen the state.
Right. That's true. Yeah. But yeah, I say Nevada, so I got made fun of that.
You should be made fun of for that.
Yeah. So Ammonite, until proven otherwise.
I mean, the other thing they could have called it was Mollusk, but that's not really a good title for a romance. So,
directed by Francis Lee. For anyone who doesn't know, it's in the Circuit Movie Database, so you can go read up on it too. Can't rate it yet because it hasn't come out yet, and those don't show until the date has come. 1840s England, an infamous fossil hunter and a young woman sent to convalesce by the sea develop an intense relationship, altering both of their lives forever. And co-starring Saoirse Ronan, maybe the frontrunner for a supporting actress. So, produced by Emil Sherman, Ian Canning, who I believe were behind some British stuff that got nominated. It's not Atonement, because that's what I want to say, and I know that's wrong.
Ian Canning did The King's Speech.
Yes, there you go. Something.
And Widows and Shame and Lion and Macbeth and Mary Magdalene and Mr. Holmes.
Thank you very much. There you go. That's what I was looking for. Cinematography by Stefan Fontaine, who did Jackie. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. And music by Volker Bertelmann and Dustin O'Halloran, who did Lion.
Yeah.
Francis Lee also co-writes, and Fiona Shaw also co-stars in it, who is on Killing Eve. Cool. So, yeah, that's that. So that's distributed by Neon and BBC Films. It's supposed to come out not September 15th, because I think that's the original date.
Yeah.
And it will be pushed. So I don't know if it has a date. I don't think it's dated yet, actually.
Valentine's Day. Let's look at that.
Yep. All right. Next on the docket, nice, fun, quiet stuff. But Criterion announced their October releases, and Parasite's coming to Criterion.
Woohoo!
Criterion, right? As they say, Wes.
Parasite, right? That's how it's
Parasite. We're getting Parasite on. Yeah, exactly. We're getting Parasite. We're getting Claudine with Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones. We're getting The Gunfighter with Gregory Peck. Have you ever seen The Gunfighter, Mark?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I'm going to mutilate this. Get ready. Jean-Luc Godard's Pierre Le Fou. I'm waiting for Karen.
You did fine.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay. And Stephen Frears is The Hit, which I've never seen. So what's that?
It's The Height, actually. No.
I was going to get pissed for it. I was like, we're just changing.
We're never going to know how to say anything.
Awful.
We're just going to whip this out every couple of weeks just to see what happens.
Exactly. I have to touch on some of the sadder news of the week. Losing John Lewis, one of the longer term congressmen, and it was awful for that to happen. It's why I also added to the 2020 just being canceled. I'm so done with it. It was funny because it wasn't funny. It was awful. So we also lost C.T. Vivian on the same day as well, both civil rights icons. And then this week also Naya Rivera from Fox's Glee.
And Kelly Preston too.
Oh, and I forgot. I'm sorry. Yes, I had that in somewhere. Yes, Kelly Preston. Which, by the way, I didn't realize how much younger she was than John. I'm not saying she was like 20 years younger than him, but I didn't realize how that she was in her 50s. I actually thought she was his age because Kelly Preston's just also been around forever.
That's fair.
But yeah, they have an 11-year-old, right? They have like a younger child. Because I know they lost their son like 10 years ago.
Wow, has it been that long?
I don't feel like it was 10 years, but maybe.
I think it has. Let me see. I'm looking right now.
Yeah, it's like was his name Jet? Was that sound right?
Yeah. Jet.
2009. So yeah, Jesus.
11 years ago. Yeah.
How are we aging like that?
Yesterday was the release anniversary of The Dark Knight 12 years ago, which led me to then say, oh my God, Heath Ledger's been dead for 12 years.
Yeah.
That was like crazy.
I mean, even when they were talking about John Lewis, when they said that he started serving in Congress in 1987, I immediately thought that's not that long. And then I realized that's as long as I've been alive. So that's 33 years. So no, that was, time is becoming very weird.
Yeah.
It just speeds up from there, guys. Just to just gonna tell you.
And it makes less sense. To me, 2005 was, 6 years ago.
Right.
You mean 15.
Yeah.
No, I mean 2005. My nephew should be 5 years old, not 15 years old.
Yeah.
That's the thing is I'm going through all these movies of that decade, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember seeing this in theater, and I'm thinking, it'll be like 2000. It must be 2009 if it's in this decade, and it's like 2002, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yesterday on my other podcast, my co-host was like, she was talking about remembering watching The Simpsons when she as reruns when she was a kid, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Right.
I was watching those first run when I was not a child.
Oh, God.
I remember when they were a short on the Tracy Ullman show.
I forgot the Tracy Ullman show. I missed that show.
It's a great show.
Did you know that Kelly Preston turned down the Brooke Shields role in The Blue Lagoon?
None of that.
And did you also know that she was engaged to Charlie Sheen?
I did not know that either.
Right before she got with John Travolta.
That's a right turn.
I know.
Interesting.
I mean, one weird due to another, but
I don't know. I was more normal. That she made the right or wrong choice.
I I mean,
John Travolta is definitely a step up.
I married John Travolta before Charlie Sheen.
He's got
the Scientology stuff would really bother me, but it would be,
and the massage table stuff. That's weird.
yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the week of badness. But Kelly Preston starred Jerry Maguire and What a Girl Wants, which is so weird that that's one of the things that is listed here of her 2 contributions to film.
Because she's really good in that movie, okay?
But like, would that be the first 2 things you would say when you say Kelly Preston out loud?
For me, yes.
Jerry Maguire and For Love of the Game.
Jerry Maguire would be my first.
Oh yeah.
She has a certain scene in it that I always thought she's nailed.
Brilliant in that movie.
Your word choice is very, very apt there.
Oh, I usually say Twins. Twins is usually my first go-to.
For Love of the Game, that's my pick.
Yeah, that's probably the right call. I like that.
The Right Stuff. Yeah.
Space Camp.
What'd you say?
Oh
Space Camp.
Space Camp. Wow.
Mark, that was like 3 years ago that came out, right?
No.
We released a poll on the site about what are some of the saddest movie openings from the last 20 years, because I started a trend on Twitter on the final moments of a movie that made you ugly cry, and that's always easy. But could you think of movies that you cried at the beginning? And naturally, people will talk Up, or usually will say Up or Finding Nemo, sometimes even Wall-E. Those are usually like the easy go-to. But I don't know if you guys had any that you wanted to talk about or name. That you cried at the beginning. I said first 20 minutes. Like, is there a movie that you cried in the first 20 minutes?
Toy Story 3.
There was one recently.
Toy Story 3 when you thought that Bo Peep was dead.
No.
Oh, on that note, how about Toy Story 4? Because it existed.
Oh, stop it! It's great.
You're a monster.
Yeah, you're a monster. My two that I cried at the beginning for different reasons was Beale Street Could Talk. I cried at the beginning. Just because I was more emotional about something I was seeing on screen, but I cried at the beginning of Flight because I just
the rest of the movie was about to come.
Well, no, I actually really like Flight.
I know you do.
I like Flight too.
Yeah, but I am hyper aware that I have a I don't say affinity or whatever. I'm just really sensitive to plane crashes in movies. And listen, I'd say it in the poll, like, I might just be post 9/11 PTSD kind of stuff. And I also cry at the beginning of Sully for the same reason.
Yeah, I was about to say, what did Sully hit you? Because that one got me a little bit. I teared up at Sully. And you know what's funny?
I was working at Statue Cruises. I was a photographer for Statue Cruises for the boats that take you to Ellis Island. I witnessed Sully's plane hit the water.
Cool.
I was working there.
What?
I saw it happen.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and you imagine my scream that happened when I saw it, because again, post 9/11, I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? And then it was like this, Miracle on the Hudson. It was this happy ending story. And I watched Sully, and I still cry, even though knowing and at the beginning of Sully, when they do the sequence, what he's imagining would have happened if he crashed into the building. Yeah. It literally took me maybe till the end of the scene to realize that didn't really happen, because I was telling myself, did that happen? And I'm like, am I blocking stuff out of my head that it didn't hit the water? Seriously, stuff like that. So those were the two things I thought of right away. And then a lot of people brought up About Time as well.
Not the beginning.
Time.
With Rachel McAdams and Domhnall Gleeson.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah, but
certain movies that have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, I don't remember anything sad until the end and the middle. There's sad stuff in it, but not the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything.
There's certain movies that they're sad at the beginning, but I don't cry. Like Sleepless in Seattle. It opens on Tom Hanks with his son at the funeral. That's sad. The Lodge this year started off with a sad opening. But also I wasn't crying, so it's there are definitely sad openings, but I think the one that I remember really crying in was Up.
Yeah. Up is the one that comes to mind because it takes it's hard to make you cry right away.
Yeah.
You're not invested yet.
Yeah. It's not a good idea usually. You can't drain someone 10 minutes in and then expect them to sit there for another 90 minutes.
Yeah,
but they did it so perfect.
You have to build up because if you're making someone cry early on, it's using something universal.
Yeah.
Later on in the movie, you can make it about the fake characters you've come to care about.
Mm-hmm. And it's a rarity for sure. Like this is not something that's common that happens. It's very difficult to do. That's why I think probably the 4 examples I named in the article are probably the 4 that like are probably some of the. I know some people have some. Like that's why I brought up Flight because I know that's probably just a me thing, but it's still something that happened. So I just didn't know if anyone had a little bit of that. But I think Up and Finding Nemo are like the 2 big ones that come to mind.
Any of the Disney ones where they kill the mom in the first like 5 minutes, but
or like dog, like a Dog's Way Home. The one where they're like getting home 2 years ago. That one. There's something in the first like 2 minutes.
One of my friends said John Wick. Because they said they said it got him so upset that they couldn't like watch the rest of the movie.
I forgive everything that Keanu does in that trilogy.
They had it coming.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember how Schindler's List begins because basically every moment of Schindler's List is pretty emotional. But
let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any. Someone also said Antichrist.
I mean, crying is the wrong. I mean, there's something tragic that happens, but it's not. Lars von Trier. He's never going for emotion. It's also intercut with a hardcore pornography scene, so I don't know what that says about that person.
Someone said Bambi. Bambi happens in the first 20 minutes. I think that the mom dies, so I think that counts. And someone said Watchmen. And I don't remember
because the comedian dies.
It opens with the comedian.
Yeah, I hate Watchmen so much. I don't remember. Yeah.
Or did they mean the TV show?
No, there was one about the movie.
TV show would definitely count.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of like movies where, like, I forget what was the movie with Nicole Kidman called Rabbit Hole.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of movies like that where there's a kid that dies in the beginning
kids
and then
dying.
Yeah, because that's what gets me every time is
Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah, I have a friend that says he'll ask me before he watches the movie, like, is there a kid that dies? I can't watch any kids that die.
It's the worst.
Someone also said a movie that I've never even heard of, The Plague Dogs. Animated movie from 1982.
Nope.
Doesn't sound like Disney.
Yeah. All the Disney stuff is what is getting people.
They know how to do emotion. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And the reason that Up works is because it opens with a short film. Mm-hmm. Really. That's why. I mean, it's not like the very, very first scene is something tragic. They do build up to it. They just know how to do that very quickly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, is it fair to say pretty much a lot of shorts like Bow or like something like that? Like, or,
a short can do that because it's telling an entire story in that period of time.
Yeah. Okay. But actually, in the original poll question that was on Twitter, what final moments of a movie in the last 20 years have made you ugly cry? It has to be ugly cry.
Marley and Me.
Lion.
I said Arrival. And
Jojo Rabbit for me.
So I got a lot of I got a lot of Jojo Rabbit answers. What'd you say, Mark?
You know my answer as far as what movies made me ugly cry.
You say La La Land?
It's La La Land, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that ending, I don't know. And I think that's, really ugly. Yeah. Especially the second and third time I saw it. The first time I was kind of just blown away by that ending sequence.
Yeah.
And then, the second and third time I saw it was just like, it's hard for me to watch that.
There were a lot of movies that I didn't ugly cry the first time. I ugly cried later in life. I think life changes kind of thing. So Arrival, I ugly cried at the time, and like I think I cry harder now, when I watch it. And listen, most of that, and I say this in the Twitter sphere. is that I'm a sucker for scores that will do it. So Max Richter's On the Nature of Daylight that is used in like every TV show and stuff that's out there. It's also the thing that made Johan Johansson ineligible for original score for Arrival because of that orchestral music that's used at the end. Is something that will set me off. So I cry at the end of Gravity a lot because Stephen Price's score also swells in as well, and it just like sets me off.
That's great.
I also cry at the end of Pursuit of Happiness now. I did not cry at the time, but now I'm like, Dad doing his best.
Right. That's the thing is, you know, some of these movies, that's why I like to go back and revisit them later is, you know, I'm a totally different human than I was 17 years ago. When
so much worse.
Right. So much worse. So like, I mean,
we don't know. He might've been terrible.
Yeah.
If you go back even halfway through the decade of 2005, I wasn't married. I didn't have kids. Everything was different.
Were you not married in 2005?
I got married in 2006. So yeah,
when did we meet? Were you already married to Holly when we met?
Oh yeah. I mean, I had my own site in 2009, and then I had known you a little bit.
Oh, 2005, I was writing for Johnny Alba still, so yeah.
Yeah, and I might have interacted with you even then because I interacted with Johnny Alba a lot. So.
Yeah, there was no Twitter then, I don't think, so who knows?
No.
Yeah.
2006, I think, it came out, right?
Yeah. I didn't join Twitter till later on. Like
I joined in 2009.
Yeah, I can probably find out by my profile, but like, I was like,
I think 2008 or 9.
Yeah.
You know what's one that does it for me every time? I know it's not in the last 20 years, but just
MySpace.
Well, yeah.
MySpace makes you cry. Go ahead.
No, the movie that makes me cry.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's one of those things where it's just such a classic that I'm moved by not just the emotion in it, but just how great it is. And
he's just Lawrence.
Well, that's
I was saying Lawrence of Arabia,
but it's a Wonderful Life.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
That movie drains me like multiple times throughout the movie, and it's just like when he's on the phone with her and he's. You know, and he breaks down. Like, there's just so many scenes in that one that are just so perfect.
You know what's funny about It's a Wonderful Life? I think I've gotten teared up only. I never really full out cried in it. I still get teary eyed in the scene where he's like praying to God at the bar. Like literally, like again, maybe like as much what Mark was talking about, like. Yeah. Just as you grow older and then you become like a parent or whatever. And that's not to say that it's only exclusive to parents. I'm just saying, like, for me, just being a parent now has really like kind of opened the floodgates in terms of like shit, like stuff like that. Yeah. You know, that's why the end of In America wrecks me now.
Yeah.
Like I can't breathe, nearly die. And Stepmom will put me in a wheelchair every time because I can't even imagine.
Those are the ones that don't work on me. The ones that are the ones that are like intentionally
killing you.
Like the tear, like they're, I don't know. I sometimes
In America isn't intentional. Would you say?
Okay. And actually don't say too much more about In America because that's actually funny that you said that is. I have. It's been 19 years or whatever. I think it's 2001.
2003.
2003. Okay, so it's been 17 years.
I've seen the movie. I know what happens, but don't spoil it.
I forget a little bit, and it actually arrives. I ordered the Blu-ray. It comes either today or tomorrow.
Is it on Blu-ray? I think I was looking for it.
Maybe DVD. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like,
you mean you ordered it on?
I thought he was going to say he got it. Right? I thought he was going to say he got it on.
I am done. I don't know if I told you guys. I am done with Netflix discs, and I'm regretting, and I regret it already.
Really?
Because there's as I'm going back through these decades,
you're like, God damn it!
There's so much that is not on Netflix.
You know what works? You know what works for that? Amazon Prime.
I have that, but then you have to pay $4 a movie.
Well, depends on what you want to watch. Like how much
everything, everything that I'm going back to is.
By the way, In America is not on Blu-ray. It's $7.47 on Amazon if anyone wants to buy it, and you should.
I did buy it on Amazon.
Good.
And I must have got the DVD. Then I don't remember.
Yeah, but watch it. Oh my God! So
that's showing up. So don't say anything because I remember the movie. I just don't remember how it ends.
Also, probably I think that. I don't know if I mean this, but I think I'm going to say it. I think that's the year that really sewed me into the Oscar game.
2003.
Yes, because of nomination. That nomination announcement is one of the most surprising lineups of all, like, of the modern era, that people are like following the race and like what's supposed to happen and things like that. And even though it seemed so predetermined, and I think it kind of like
I didn't. Maybe I was just in denial because I wanted it so bad. I didn't think it was predetermined.
No, well, so let me say. So everyone knew Return of the King was gonna like do its thing, right? And it did, right? Yeah. Obviously, it went 11 for 11, and that was it. But even I remember that year on Sasha Stone's awards Oscar watch, then it wasn't awards daily yet, she had her predict the Oscars contest, and Clayton, as Mark loves to try to act like it's not true, my acting lineup catches are really good, and I typically get like a good amount of them, and I only went 5 for 5 in Best Actor that year, just something that sticks out. And I remember just getting like obliterated in the other categories, as Keisha Castle Hughes got nominated, Samantha Morton got in, Jaimin Unsu, no Peter Sarsgaard, which is like one of the saddest things of Oscar history.
What film was that?
Shattered Glass.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I don't think I've seen that.
What?
Yeah, I don't think I have.
Oh my,
Mark.
All right, I'll add it to my list.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, it is.
Shattered Glass.
Like, dude, I think actually,
I've never even heard of it.
I think this stat holds true. Someone's going to correct me in the comment section, so I'm going to get ready. I think Ethan Hawke, when he ran the gauntlet on Best Actor prizes for First Reformed, he was the first person since Peter Sarsgaard that won the Most Critics Award and didn't get an Oscar nomination at the end of the year. Because Peter Sarsgaard was like running the gauntlet in maybe actually no, I think Paul Giamatti. I think it's like Ethan Hawke, Paul Giamatti, Peter Sarsgaard. I think it's like those three. So yeah, it's all, and it's also like a gross Patricia Clarkson nomination that year. And I predicted, even though I didn't think I was going to be right, that Marcia Gay Harden got in for Mystic River because she got no Globe or SAG, and Shohreh Aghdashloo got in for House of Sand and Fog. And no Scarlett Johansson that year. That year is a mess in terms of like what happened. And then Dirty Pretty Things, which no one's ever heard of or seen since that moment.
Mm-hmm. Now Mark's adding it to his list.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
It's with Audrey Tautou from Amelie.
Dirty Pretty Things? Let me see if I've seen that.
It's Stephen Frears, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Sophia Okonedo.
Yeah, Stephen Knight wrote it.
Yeah, Stephen Knight wrote it. Have you seen it, Karen?
Yeah, but it's been probably not since then.
Stephen Knight, by the way, if you don't know, Mark, if you're drawing a blank, he wrote Locke and Eastern Promises.
Oh, okay.
And several things before that.
And the Amazing Serenity. You know, that movie you love so much from Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway.
Listen, Serenity is unlike anything else.
He also wrote Allied.
That is a fact, Mark.
He wrote Allied and Burnt and Pawn Sacrifice and The 100-Foot Journey.
What he is he's one of those screenwriters who gets $1 million to write a screenplay, and you're kind of puzzled because sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad.
And he wrote a lot of Peaky Blinders, but I don't think you're a Peaky Blinders fan, Mark.
I tried on that one too, and I really wanted to like it. I just couldn't get into it.
I am with you on it. Like it's hard to like be it. By the way, something like that came to mind I just saw right now. So remember Luca Guadagnino was supposed to direct a movie called Rio with Jake Gyllenhaal. He's not directing it anymore. He dropped out. It's now because Stephen Knight wrote that as well. Yeah, Edward Berger is directing it.
Because I wrote the awards profile 3 years ago, 2 years ago, something like that.
It's still in. By the way, Edward Berger. Get ready for this, Mark. You're gonna hate it. He's directing the remake of All Quiet on the Western Front.
Ooh, but see, that's interesting.
Starring Daniel Bruhl.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. See, there are some movies I could see being remade. I think that's one that could. And I mean that's a
remakeable thing. You're okay with?
I think so. I think so. I mean that's one of my top 100 favorite movies of all time. So I do love the original, and I'm not a big fan of remakes, but I could definitely see something like that being I don't want to say made better, but it's a war movie.
Updated for the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great movie, and Daniel Bruhl, is like spot on casting for any role in that movie would be great.
Actually, let's talk about this. What are some movies that you're like that you would, I don't say want to be remade, but I guess you're like, let's get to something like this guy. I think it could be updated well for the time.
La La Land with Michael Bay.
Fuck off.
Couldn't resist.
This might be blasphemy, so I don't know if I mean it 100%. Karen, please, if it's bad, I want you to yell at me for it and no one else.
Okay.
Am I okay with the You Can't Take It With You remake?
Oh yeah.
It's such a good show, and I feel like it can be done better.
All right.
I don't know if I would say it can be done better. I would say it could
be done again.
It'd be one that I wouldn't be mad with a modern version.
Okay.
I'll stick with what I said years ago. I want them to remake 50 Shades of Grey, but with Bill Nighy and Judi Dench.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Change nothing else, but just have it be that.
Yeah.
I would swap the characters too.
God. Oh yeah. I know we're not getting it, but I always wanted a Guys and Dolls remake with Channing Tatum and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That was going to happen. Now it's not.
Came close.
Yeah, so it was right there. Channing's Oscar was right there for him, and then it didn't. Anyone else think of anyone down for a Jezebel remake?
I don't think anyone cares.
Don't so many touch the Betty Davis movie.
Yeah. There's so many like that I could see, but I don't want it.
Like what?
You know what I mean? I'm just like Maltese Falcon or Notorious.
Rebecca coming to Netflix.
Rebecca.
It's gonna be awful.
Are they redoing Rebecca?
Yeah, it's Netflix.
Yeah, Armie Hammer is in it.
Rebecca is a good example of why they're not going to do these that often.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Wait, the now single Armie Hammer, Karen Peterson. Go for it.
I'm not going for that. No.
Why? You're not an Armie Hammer fan?
Like
I appreciate his
Mark's
beauty.
Gonna go for it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Why not?
Listen,
I appreciate his beauty, and he is a nice person to talk to, but I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with him. No.
Yeah. Listen, Armie Hammer, by the way, and listen, I think we've spoken a lot on this podcast that we think like the ongoing joke is like Hollywood's quest to make Armie Hammer happen, and I was actively rooting for him to get Batman, and it went to Robert Pattinson. I thought he would have made such a good Bruce Wayne, maybe even Batman. So,
maybe. I mean, until we know what kind of Bruce Wayne and Batman they're going for, it's hard to know. But yeah, he had the look.
The ones that stand out to me.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
I was gonna say the ones that stand out to me as I'm going through some of my old archived film rating things are like war movies or westerns. I think you can redo those.
Westerns, yes, for sure.
Yeah, there've been a lot of good western remakes.
War movies, it depends.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many stories. I'm sure war stories you could tell, but
would you want to see a new Best Years of Our Lives?
No.
There's certain movies like with Hitchcock films, for example. I know people occasionally try to remake them, and I think that those remakes only work if they shift the genre.
Yeah.
Too, like with Throw Mama from the Train or The Burbs or things like that. Then it's a fresh take on this idea, and it can be really fun.
I'd also argue that.
All right,
there's a bulk of Hitchcock. I'm using your example with Hitchcock. Hitchcock, there's like his early stuff and his later stuff that I feel like you can remake. There's that middle where he like lives in his greatness. A lot of that stuff, like I don't like. I'd argue that Rebecca is the beginning of don't touch Hitchcock stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
You know. Yeah. Or maybe I think maybe you can go before. I think
39 steps.
39 steps. Yeah, you probably wouldn't touch him. Or Man Who Knew Too Much. So yeah, there's like a big gap of like don't touch any of this stuff, and it ends I think right at Birds.
Yeah, probably Birds.
Because it depends how you feel about Marnie.
Yeah, Marnie's good.
Yeah,
all right, I got my one that I think you could remake.
Good.
And it'd be kind of interesting because I'm not a huge fan of the original, but I love James Dean, and that would be East of Eden.
That's actually a good choice.
Yeah, that could work.
I could see that being a modern update.
Yeah.
All right, so studios, I'm gonna claim that one. So
you're
buy it from me.
Good luck with that.
you're gonna play producer Mark Johnson now and be like, that's me. I got it.
Just put my name in there somewhere.
The modern remakes do work when they feel modern. Like, that's why I like a lot of the things they do with Shakespeare, like 10 Things I Hate About You. That's the spirit of the original is there, but it's
Romeo and Juliet from '96.
No, fuck that movie.
Yeah.
Excuse you guys.
I love. This is the ongoing argument between me and Joey. '96.
Okay.
Romeo and Juliet's a masterpiece.
Don't like it.
Joey,
so great.
And Joey doesn't.
And I maintain that William Shakespeare himself would love that version of the movie.
It is incredible. It's an incredible movie.
It's good.
Don't care for it.
Yeah. And also, I'd argue one of Leo's best performances, like top 6. Top 6. Yeah,
well, listen,
for sure. It's great.
There's a Western. Have you guys seen the Western called The Sons of Katie Elder? It's a John Wayne movie.
No.
Okay, that would.
I've heard of it, but no.
Yeah,
that's a good. That would be a good remake.
I feel like the market's going to be a little soft on John Wayne remakes at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he won't be in them, so it might be a good time to choose them.
I mean, we got True Grit. I mean, True Grit wasn't good either, but I don't like True Grit. I mean, I like Haley Steinfeld in it, but I'm not big on the movie. We can get All the King's Men. Oh wait, never mind. We got that already. Do you remember that came?
That was so bad.
Yeah. My God!
When that was actually my first prediction that year. What year was that? 2007,
something like that.
I can still envision it on the Oscar Igloo predictions page.
Yeah, that was my early to win pick. That cast was loaded.
2006. Yeah.
Yeah, that cast.
I mean, you couldn't. Yeah, it was Sean Penn, Jude Law, Anthony Hopkins, Kate Winslet, Mark Ruffalo, Patricia Clarkson, James Gandolfini, Jackie Earle Haley, Kathy Baker. Come on, come on. How do you fail? It's directed by Steven Zalian. Like, come on.
Yeah, I love that it's a massive flop too.
Yeah,
it made $9 million. It cost 55 plus all the marketing. I'm trying to convince you it was good.
It was a Harvey movie, right? Was that?
No, I don't think it was.
I think it might have been.
It was Columbia Pictures.
So Sony. Okay. Yeah.
Columbia and Relativity Media. September 22nd, it would have gone to like Telluride.
Actually, I used to. Let me see. This is
probably did go somewhere. Actually, I'm going to look that up.
Yeah. Actually, I'm looking right now, and I think I had a list. I think from the Oscar Igloo days, when Joey, do you remember when he was doing Bait and Oscar?
Yes.
I think I have a document here, an old document.
I remember Bait and Oscar too.
I remember reading those.
I never put one out because I always thought it was the worst idea because I was like, someone's going to steal your movie.
Yep, right.
You're putting it on the internet, you idiots. Stop putting it out there.
That's funny.
I feel like it only would work if you were working with a premise that somebody else owned. Like if I wanted to make a movie out of a play, then that's fair because I don't have the power to do that. But my own original idea, like, yeah, let's just give this to Johnny.
Has Don't Look Now ever been remade?
I
think that would be an interesting horror to remake if you wanted.
11% Rotten Tomatoes for All the King's Men.
Jesus, are you kidding? That's
still high too.
Super low.
Yeah, it's lower than it needs to be.
No, I can't even. I flushed that movie out of my mind, but 11% seems.
Yeah. Oh my God, I found it. Like literally. Oh my God, here it is.
A movie about the founding of Facebook. It would never work.
Okay, it was a collection of some of mine, and then I collected some of the readers from there at the time. Like. This is when I thought they should make Pippin with Ewan McGregor, and that never happened because God hates me. That's when like everyone should have grabbed him for every musical that was there. I thought they should do a Julius Caesar movie with Joaquin Phoenix. I don't think that would work now. Also, back when I made
this, they should do a Julius Caesar movie, but not with Joaquin.
Yeah. I'm also thinking right now. This is 15 years ago, and Joaquin Phoenix was probably way too young at that moment to do it.
Yeah. Well, he's how old was Caesar when he was assassinated? Like 40s,
30s, I think.
Yeah.
That young, really? Okay.
He would have been like 25 years old when I casted him in this. So
yeah, but let's see. It's on the heels of him playing Commodus in Gladiator, so like you can picture him in that kind of role. Yeah. I think.
I always wanted them to. There was a play I was in college. It's a straight play called The Musical Comedy Murders in 1940. I was.
We were way off. Caesar died at 55.
Well, yeah. So we're
all right. So then Joaquin Phoenix as Caesar. I like it.
I thought they should make a new Frankenstein with Christopher Lloyd.
They've done enough Frankenstein.
I know. This is back.
Okay.
This is also Christopher Lloyd as a mad scientist. No, we've already.
Yeah. But I casted John Malkovich as,
Monster.
Mm. I don't think that would have worked either. Enough. Yeah.
I would like them to remake the Mary Shelley movie as a good movie.
Oh,
that'd be helpful.
Or do you want the Mary Riley spinoff again?
No.
Mary Riley. Oh my God.
Nobody wanted it the first time.
Woof.
How bad was that? My God.
Bad.
Oh, and I had an Abraham Lincoln movie here. It's with Tom Hanks as Lincoln.
Who'd you have directing it?
I didn't have a director listed here for it.
Spielberg.
But I had John C. Reilly as
Mary Todd?
No. Fucking guy who's asking John Wilkes Booth. Which I think would work still.
Yes, in the Will Ferrell version.
And I had no, because he's a very good serious actor. And I had Frances McDormand as Lincoln's wife.
Mary Todd. I kind of like my versions better, I gotta say.
Wait, no, I didn't. No, because I don't have the names here. I had Michael Biehn as John Wilkes Booth. Michael Biehn.
Don't mess with my boy. It's Biehn.
Biehn.
That's my.
I think actually he would have been good for that.
Yeah, I think he's good in any role. He should have been a bigger star.
He should have been.
I mean, you could make this movie in your backyard. You might be able to get him now.
And I wanted them to. Oh, before they made the Alexander, I had Joaquin Phoenix as Alexander. I was really obsessed with him back then.
You were really trying to make him happen.
I mean, it was. Oh, I had Ewan McGregor as Macbeth too. This is. I'm gonna look through this list when this is over.
You have a stable that you just keep casting through.
I know. I'm not.
See, Macbeth is another one. I would like to see a modern take on that.
Yeah. We're getting one this year.
Well, not really.
I think is it modernized?
I don't think so.
Oh, what is it? What do you?
That's the thing. There's been so many. There's been so many versions of that show, but I would like to see something like a 10 Things I Hate About You version.
Yeah. Well, Ethan Hawke did Hamlet, and that didn't work really. So there's a.
It has to be done by the right people. That's the thing, and it has to have the right tone and mood to it.
Yeah, because doesn't he do like To Be or Not to Be in like a laundromat or a video store or something like that? It didn't ring right.
Yeah. Mark, it's Denzel Washington as Macbeth, Frances McDormand as Lady Macbeth.
Okay.
And Brendan Gleeson as King Duncan, which might be fun.
I love that.
Yeah. And Corey Hawkins as Macduff, which sounds amazing.
Okay.
I'm all down for that. All right. Let me take some questions here. We got a bunch.
Some showdowns, I believe.
Yeah. Robert Hamer, who had a birthday this week. Happy birthday, bud.
Happy birthday.
What does the Old Guard's apparently massive success on Netflix mean for the future of big budget action / superhero films on streaming services?
There'll be more of them.
Well,
the thing is that this has already been coming for Netflix because they've put out several that just get more popular each time. Yeah, so they did Bright, which was not good, but a lot of people watched it, and then they had Extraction is apparently one of their most popular movies.
Yeah.
For some reason. So Netflix has already been going that route. I think that other services will start to follow suit.
My fear about it is that this is great for the story around big budget diversity, like for Charlize Theron becoming an action star and people like things like Bird Box, Suzanne Bier directing that. But yeah.
My thing that gets frustrating is every time there's a big action movie that's popular and good that has a female action star, people suddenly realize women can do action movies, we have this realization every single time it happens.
No, well, here's what my fear is with stuff like Netflix, which I think has been on the forefront of diversifying their filmography and what they're putting out to distribution. They're also in massive debt, and I can only fear that one day either they're going to need to be quote unquote strategic, which would then emulate what we've seen, or that they'll just keep throwing balls to the wall and then put themselves out of business.
They're going to need to scale back and not release 700 movies and 200 TV shows a year. It's not sustainable.
Yeah, but that's why they're doing it now, so they own that for perpetuity. So when they stop, they'll still have all those things. You'll still have 70 Adam Sandler movies to watch. Sure,
but now there's an expectation, though. And now the streaming services have been oversaturated. I mean, has anyone taken the minute to watch Peacock?
Nope.
No, I haven't downloaded it yet.
Oh, dear Jesus. I can't believe people are going to pay for this. And literally they dangled Friends in front of everyone as like, you're going to have Friends.
No, you're not.
A reunion.
Yeah, HBO Max.
And like, I was going through it. I was like, why would I pay for this? There's no reason to. But back to Robert's question, what does it mean for the future? I think Netflix has the right idea. I don't know if other streaming services are going to be as fast on the up. Like I don't see Disney Plus doing it. Like obviously they're also a different market and audience. I mean, we saw Wolverine's butt, and God forbid, oh my God, the whole world ended.
I know. So we'll see Disney Plus put stuff like that out when they already own it and don't think it's good, like Artemis Fowl. You're not going to see them natively do that.
Oh,
but I think HBO Max
wasn't intentional.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I think HBO Max will. I think Hulu. I think Amazon Prime. Those will, because you also, I mean, people want movie theaters to come back, but we don't. First of all, we don't know when that's going to happen. Second of all, even when they do reopen, I don't know how busy they're going to be. And the fact is, the people who aren't obsessed with movies don't go to the theater that often, but they do watch stuff at home. We know this. And so what are they going to watch? They're going to watch whatever's available. And if the streamers start putting out these big budget action movies and now they can watch it at home instead of going to the theater, then they're going to do that.
Yeah.
You heard it first from Karen. Tenet's going to HBO Max.
Well, I want that to happen so bad.
Well, look, listen.
Even though I still can't watch it because I can't get it on my Roku.
Wow.
But it's funny that something like Amazon, right, which is the richest company in the world, right?
Yeah.
And you brought them up Prime, and they're not doing it alone. Like they are picking stuff up and co-distributing mostly than they are like doing their own stuff. I mean, now they're starting to do their own stuff, but I mean, they've been very like, I don't want to say slick with it, but like just very like inching their way into it and then picking up festival stuff, and they're not.
Yeah, they didn't jump in with both feet like Netflix did.
No, their model was closer to being the indie label of a big company. They were taking more of like the Focus version and acquiring smaller stuff and having a limited stake in it. And
Fox Searchlight,
exactly. Yeah. We have a bigger entity that's a backstop, but we're also not going to spend a ton, so we can't screw it up if we don't do it right. And they did it right, so.
Yeah, but that's why we're getting a net from them, which is the next Adam Driver movie that Mark will obsess all over for, I know, next year, but still, it's coming.
Mark,
are you ready? Are you ready? What?
Who's directing it?
Leo's Corral.
Have you seen Holy Motors, Mark?
I did.
It's him. It's
director of Holy Motors.
Yeah.
Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard, man, in a musical. It's gonna be great.
Well, still don't know that.
Give it to me now.
Still don't know that I understand Holy Motors, but I love it.
No. Yeah, there's no understanding that. I think
it's so good though.
It is definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Jacob Kleinberg. Hey there, AC team. I'm going to name for you 4 directors, and I want you to know. Wants us to name their best movie overall.
Okay.
And then best overall decade that they've had. So
Damien Chazelle, the 2010s.
So the first one is Alfred Hitchcock. So we have to give our best movie of his, and then what's his best decade that he's delivered. And best movie, I think best movie I can say off the bat is also I think is underrated is Dial M for Murder. Wow. But his best decade, I mean, it's got to be the 50s.
It's the 50s.
The 50s.
Yeah, it's
probably. Yeah.
That Strangers on a Train, I Confess, Dial M for Murder, Rear Window, To Catch a Thief, Trouble with Harry, Man Who Knew Too Much, The Wrong Man, Vertigo, and North by Northwest. Right. Psycho is 60.
I do like the 40s for him because I love Rope, but I think you're right.
Good. 40s are good. 50s are ridiculous.
I would love to hear someone make the case of the 20s that his silent films are the best. I don't think they're right, but I would love to hear about it.
I mean, the 40s are good because he has Rebecca correspondent. Yeah, he has a really good 40s.
Shadow of a Doubt, Lifeboat's in there, Spellbound, Notorious. I mean, it's definitely
Saboteur. Yeah. I mean, you could.
It's definitely arguable. It's 40s or 50s. I go 50s because I think 3 of his top 5 are in that decade, maybe 4 of his top 5. And my favorite, which is Vertigo.
Karen?
I think the 50s is the right answer, though. I'll go Rope is my favorite.
I see. My personal favorite of his films is Strangers on a Train.
Okay.
And yeah, I think I would say the 50s are his best decade.
I think it's hard to argue that. I mean, listen, it depends on, I guess, what you feel about the films, but
I mean, I guess if you think Psycho and The Birds are his 2 best, you might even make the case of the 60s. I don't think you'd be right, but
okay. Next on his list here, Stanley Kubrick. Best movie, Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah, Kubrick's my favorite of all time.
Yeah. I think it's Dr. Strangelove. And his decade is kind of an unfair question, but I guess
he's
60s.
very spread out.
Yeah, he's spread. I think it's 60s.
It's 60s.
Because it's Spartacus, Lolita, Dr. Strangelove in 2001.
He just didn't do it. He didn't do enough after that.
Yeah, and then 70s you have Just a Clockwork Orange and Barry Lyndon. 80s you have Shining and Full Metal Jacket. And you have just 190s.
In the 90s you have
Tom Cruise and Highway.
I do love Eyes Wide Shut. I was watching it last night.
It's such a good movie.
I haven't seen it since I've seen it. I don't think I've revisited it.
There's something about watching a Kubrick movie.
It's on Showtime.
Yeah, it's on Showtime a lot recently. I like watching Kubrick movies. I just like what's going on in the background. Like everything about it, the care he put into it is interesting. And I love that this movie with someone else would be so grimy and gross, and yet it's kind of beautiful, but also disturbing. I wish he had one more, just because I kind of like that. The old creepy man version of him.
I also have not seen.
AI is technically a Kubrick movie.
Yeah, I do like AI quite a bit.
I haven't seen his first 2 movies. I never saw Fear and Desire or Killer's Kiss.
I have not seen. I don't think I've seen either one of those either.
I don't think I've seen it either.
And then he has The Killing in 56, Paths of Glory in 57.
Oh my God,
Paths of Glory is so great.
And I when I initially looked at his list, I was like, oh, Paths of Glory, and actually that might be his best.
No, Dr. Strangelove.
I think Dr. Strangelove is his best. My favorite is Eyes Wide Shut or The Shining. I love The Shining. This is the one time that I'm like almost gonna feel Mark in Dr. Strangelove.
Ready?
But I think I just have a soft spot for Paths of Glory.
So I agree, Pat. Like for me, my top 100 list, no director has more films in it than Kubrick. I have 6 of his movies, and even a couple that aren't on there, like Full Metal Jacket, Eyes Wide Shut, are among my favorite movies of all time.
He has 6, and Damien Chazelle has 3, right?
Chazelle doesn't have any yet.
He's getting there.
He's got a chance. But my favorite is actually one of the 5 films that I would give a 10 to on a scale of 1 to 10, like a perfect film.
2001.
And that's 2001.
I'm sorry, you mean 4 out of 4 stars?
Yeah, 4 out of 4.
No, I give a lot of films 4.
If it's not on the award circuit, it doesn't count.
Yeah, there's a lot of 4-star films, and actually, he probably has like 14 of those. But I'd give Doctor Strangelove is to me a perfect movie. It's one of my 5 favorite movies ever.
Okay. Next up, Elia Kazan.
Did I say Doctor Strangelove? I meant 2000. I meant 2001. But Doctor Strangelove is way up there.
Doctor Strangelove is like that for me. It's one of my favorites.
Doctor Strangelove and Clockwork Orange are both in that like top 30 range.
I'm actually not even a huge fan of Clockwork Orange.
I love Clockwork Orange. That's my second favorite.
I've never actually seen that one.
I feel the same way about 2001. I'm not a huge fan of it. I appreciate it more than I enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about 2001 as well.
Elia Kazan, and I think I think 50s is inarguable.
Yeah, I think you got.
You have Panic in the Streets, Streetcar Named Desire, Viva Zapata, Man on a Tightrope, On the Waterfront, East of Eden, Baby Doll, A Face in the Crowd.
Yeah.
And then if you're looking for the 40s, then you're on Pinky, Gentleman's Agreement, Boomerang, The Sea of Grass, and A Tree Grows in Brooklyn.
It's 50s.
It's the 50s. And
it's definitely the 50s. Yeah.
Is Wild River, Splendor in the Grass, America, America, and The Arrangement. And then 70s, you have The Visitors and The Last Tycoon.
No, it's the 50s, and the movie is on the waterfront.
Yeah, I agree with Joey on that. I know a lot of people will say Streetcar.
It is Streetcar.
That's Streetcar for sure.
Yeah, but On the Waterfront is clearly 2. It's one of those 2. Those are his 2 best.
I'll accept that.
By far, those are his 2 best. Yeah.
Yeah. And then his 3rd is East of Eden?
East of Eden.
I'd say Gentleman's Agreement, or Splendor in the Grass, maybe.
I think I've seen it enough.
I mean, we can make it top 5, so there we go.
Yep.
Yeah, East of Eden's up there. Like I mentioned earlier, that's the one I would remake. I'm not a huge fan of.
Last on his list here is Martin Scorsese.
70s.
So, I mean, his best... It's the only time you're going to hear the answer is silence.
No, that is the only time you're going to hear that answer. It's very true.
And I'm going to say it forever. It is his the movie that I will remember him for forever.
Okay.
But his decade,
maybe it's 80s. Raging Bull, King.
Yeah.
Well, he's so spread out.
He is so spread out. Maybe it's 90s. I don't know.
2000s is a pretty good Scorsese too.
Yeah. I mean, every single when you go down the list, the next movie into the next decade, almost every time is like, oh, well, that would have done it for me.
Yeah.
Like if The Departed would have been in the 2010s, I would have picked the 2010s.
I'm going to stick with 70s for him.
Definitely not the 2010s.
Oh no, not without The Departed.
Because Hugo's there.
See, it's silence for me that ruins it.
Yeah, actually, not for nothing. Actually, 2010s because Shutter Island.
Shutter solid. Hugo's fine. Wolf of Wall Street's amazing. Silence sucks, and The Irishman's amazing.
And The Irishman's great.
So let's look at like.
All right, so decade by decade.
Per decade.
Right, so 60s, you have Who's Knocking at My Door, and that's it. So you can't do that. So 70s, Boxcar Bertha, Mean Streets, Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, Taxi Driver, New York, Last Waltz.
I got 4 classics from the 70s in my mind.
An American Boy.
Yeah.
And then 80s, your Raging Bull, The King of Comedy, After Hours, The Color of Money, The Last Temptation of Christ.
I got 2 there.
And then 90s, Goodfellas, Cape Fear, The Age of Innocence, Casino, Kundun, and Bringing Out the Dead.
He ends up with 2 in every decade is the problem.
Well, I'd go 4 in the 90s and 4 in the 70s, but go on to the aughts.
And then 2000s, you have Gangs of New York, The Aviator, The Departed.
And that's it. So not the aughts.
And then 2010s, I just said Shutter Island, George Harrison documentary, Hugo, Wolf of Wall Street, and Silence of the Irishman.
I'm sticking with the 70s. And mine's Taxi Driver by a hair over Raging Bull, but then
Taxi Driver's my favorite. So I think that's leaning me to the 70s. Otherwise, I might have done the 80s because King of Comedy is my second or third favorite.
King of Comedy is my favorite.
Before Silence, Raging Bull was my favorite.
Yeah, Raging Bull's a near perfect.
But I think he has a better track for me in the 90s.
I mean, honestly, next in line is The Wolf of Wall Street for me. So that's what making that the 2010s really right there for me.
I'd probably say The Departed is my 4 after Goodfellas at 3.
If The Departed had been in the 2010s, I would have picked it that way. Or if one other thing had been in the aughts, I might have done it because I love Gangs of New York, even though it's a mess.
Jacob actually gave one more because he had submitted it twice, and on this one he included Mike Nichols.
Ooh,
The Graduate.
Ooh,
well, the graduate's the answer.
No, it's not.
Yes,
it's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
No,
mine's Graduate.
Karen.
No, I'm with Joe. Not Joey. I'm with Clayton.
Yeah.
Well, Mark's with me, so I guess I'm...
Well, then we can agree it's the 60s, because those are both the 60s, right?
So 60s is Virginia Woolf, The Graduate.
He's spread
Then that's it. 70s is Catch-22, Carnal Knowledge, The Day of Dolphin, The Fortune.
I think maybe
80s is Gilda Live, Silkwood, Heartburn, Biloxi Blues, Working Girl.
Yeah, he's spread out. He's like 2 or 3 films a decade.
90s is Postcards from the Edge, Regarding Henry, Wolf, The Birdcage, Primary Colors.
His 2 best films are in the 60s, so I'm going 60s.
2000s is What Planet Are You From? Wit, which is a TV movie. I think we can count miniseries Angels in America because that's a masterpiece. Sure. Closer and Charlie Wilson's War. Closer for me is his second best film.
Oh, I love Charlie.
I hate that movie.
I love Closer so much.
Over Graduate?
Yeah. I love The Graduate. I love The Graduate too.
I mean, I gotta say,
I think I have to go with 80s. I mean, Silkwood, Heartburn, Working Girl. Those are great films.
Yeah, I think I'm with Karen. I think I might have to say the 80s. I mean, 60s is just such. I mean, I think there's. It's hard to find a director, and I know it's going to regurgitate out of Mark's mouth in a second. I think it's hard to find a director that had a better start. Back-to-back first 2 movies.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The Graduate's his best film, but I'm going to say the 90s for decade. I just like all the movies he made at that point.
Yeah. I know. I'm between the 80s and the 90s, honestly.
I'm very upset he didn't get to make his last film. There was a book that I loved called This Is One Last Thing Before I Go, and it would have been right up his alley because it was a dramedy. Like, he would have handled it so well.
Can I just say his worst movie by far is Wolf, though?
I like Wolf. It's not good, but I like it.
I like Wolf. It's not good, but I like it.
Yeah,
I have a lot of movies like that. Thank you.
Really, Clayton? Tell me more about Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat's good. It's good, and I like it, and it's great.
I think the people who made Mortal Kombat think it's good.
Is it though?
Yeah, Lyndon Ashby and Robin Shue just did a interview where they were talking all about it.
Oh yeah, the misunderstood.
Mortal Kombat 2 is atrocious. Mortal Kombat 1 is great though. It's totally fun. It's campy as hell.
Wolf isn't campy? It's the campiest thing that's ever been made. It's Jack Nicholson playing a werewolf.
Yeah.
It's insane amounts of cocaine.
I'll give you this. It's pristine casting.
Yeah. They handed Jack Nicholson millions of dollars in cocaine and let him go to it.
Was he doing stuff then?
I don't think he stopped until recently.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean,
okay. Let's finish out the questions. Hold on. Oh, do you know what I watched yesterday with Sophia for the first time, and she did not like it. No, Blade.
Blade's terrible.
Oh, Blade's good. But Blade's stuck in the time. It's very nice.
The only one that is okay is the second one because Del Toro has some style things. They're not good time. Not a good time period for superhero movies. I'm the remake I'm interested in.
Yeah. I had to cover her eyes like 2 or 3 times. I forgot how like inappropriate it is.
You mean the R-rated vampire murder movie?
I mean, there's there's stuff that's like Scream is R-rated, but I never have to cover her eyes in it.
Yeah.
Ryan McQuaid, who's not here, gave us some Cinephile Showdowns for us to do. Cinephile Showdowns, his top 10 of 2018 versus 2019. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Widows? Widows
by millions of miles.
Yep. Did you say Once Upon a Time or Widows?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Widows?
I'll go Hollywood.
Yeah, same.
Parasite or Beale Street Could Talk? Oh,
Parasite.
Sorry, Clayton.
I know. It's fine. It's fine. Beale Street for emotional reasons, but
I would take Beale Street over Widows and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood both.
Yeah,
So.
Fair enough.
Yeah, his 2s are way better than his 1s. Portrait of a Lady on Fire or Black Klansman? Black Klansman.
Black Klansman.
Yeah.
Portrait of a Lady on Fire is good, but Black Klansman is just better.
I like it. I mean, all these are good. So,
Uncut Gems or Blind Spotting? Blind Spotting.
Blind Spotting by
that's
thousands
painful.
of miles.
Uncut Gems by far.
I think I have to say Uncut Gems, but I love Blind Spotting.
Blind Spotting is
Did you say
great.
Uncut Gems by miles, Joe? You don't like Blind Spotting?
I liked it. It's one of those ones where I liked it and then didn't get why everyone loved it. I just thought it was good.
Little Women or Mission Impossible Fallout? I've never seen Fallout.
Mission Impossible Fallout.
You haven't seen Fallout, but you can still say Mission Impossible Fallout. It's a far superior movie to Little Women.
I probably will say Mission Impossible Fallout then.
It's also the second or first best Mission Impossible movie, depending on how you feel about it.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Mark?
Might be the one that
I say
likes
second,
the
but
original Mission Impossible the best of the series.
Oh, it's the best I've seen so far.
That's
because you haven't even watched Ghost Protocol yet.
Protocol or Fallout.
I'm up to number 4.
One was so good.
Watch it, please.
Yeah, 1 is great.
One is fantastic.
And I like Ghost Protocol.
1 is the third best.
Yeah.
All right.
Knives Out or First Reformed? Knives Out.
Knives Out.
Knives Out.
Knives Out for sure. First
I do
Reformed
not care
is
for
terrible.
First Reformed at all.
Us or Roma? Oh, I don't like that choice there.
Roma.
I love Us though.
I love Us too.
Like Us. I watched it again a couple months ago.
Did you not?
No, I just think it's all right.
It's great when it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's less good when it tries to tell us what the point is.
I don't think it fully knows what the point is.
Booksmart or The Writer? The Writer.
Booksmart.
Booksmart.
Love The Writer.
Booksmart for me, I guess. Yeah.
The Writer's good, but Booksmart's amazing.
The Farewell or Leave No Trace? Farewell.
Leave No Trace.
Farewell.
I think Farewell.
Yeah. Pain and Glory or Won't You Be My Neighbor? Pain and Glory.
Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Won't You Be My Neighbor?
I didn't see Pain and Glory, but my guess would be Pain and Glory because I did not like Won't You Be My Neighbor.
I thought it was just fine.
Yeah, it was okay.
One of my favorite documentaries in a long time.
Oh, whoa. That's the documentary one?
Yeah.
My bad.
What do you think about Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
I can't get them. I'll never, ever get them straight. I will never get them straight. So, yes, if it's the documentary, I'm taking the doc.
Oh, okay.
It's a documentary.
Okay.
Matt Anderson says, what's an underrated or overrated sequel you've seen?
An underrated sequel that recently has gotten more of its due, I would say Scream 4.
Wow. I love Scream 4.
I just watched.
I just
watched a list the other day in which they were ranking all the Scream movies, and Scream 4 was the second best Scream movie. They said, and I was shocked.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's finally coming back around where people are realizing, this actually is a good movie. But when it first came out, people hated it.
I loved it. I was the only one. It felt like I go 1, 4, 2, 3. Like, I love 4.
I think each of them is so good for very unique reasons.
I mean, it is
including 3.
It can all be agreed upon that 3 is the worst by far.
But it's a good movie. That's the thing.
I think 1 is the best. Yeah,
one has to be the best.
1 is great.
The best, 3 is the worst.
So I'd say 1 is a classic. 4 is great. 2 is solid. 3 is okay.
2 is good. I love 2.
I've never revisited 2, 3, and 4.
You should.
You revisit 2 for sure, and go ahead for 4 just for shits and gigs.
3 is
3 is also good. It's just very different.
Yeah, 3 I feel like you can leave 3 out a little bit more just because the stuff it adds.
Well, I think 3. The reason why I hate 3 so much, 3 almost destroys 1.
Well, I mean, that's part of what.
But it doesn't, though.
That's what horror sequels do.
I know. I don't. Yeah, and I don't.
And it's very prescient about that. Like, it calls attention to what it is doing as it is doing it, and it doesn't actually change anything from 1. It just contextualizes it in a way that we didn't know before.
It's also the same reason why I hate Solo so much. Is because Solo almost destroys Star Wars, and
but that does.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
because they actually change some really major things. Scream 3 doesn't actually change anything about Scream 1.
Yeah, and Scream also, it has the advantage of the same creative team for the entirety of it, so it's the intended story. That's one of the reasons why I'm not super thrilled about the Blumhouse reimagining, whatever we're going to do. It's not going to... Yeah. Well, yeah, whether it's 5 or 1, whatever, however because they're going to be witty about it, but I don't know.
If Nev's back, I think it's gonna be just straight up sequel, right? Shouldn't it be?
I think it's gonna be a sequel.
They're not clear on what they're doing, but I'm
clear about it.
I
yeah.
think,
but it's not gonna be the same team, so it's someone else playing off that. So there's a higher risk of failure. Like I never thought 4 was gonna be bad, just because I knew it was the right people involved.
Underrated, I am going to say Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Because I think it goes 2, 1, 3 for that trilogy, and I think like 2 gets like I don't think that I also love that whole trilogy probably more than a lot of people in the world. Also, maybe I'd argue this may be blasphemy, but Mark, please join me in this.
I will be.
Dare I say Lethal Weapon 2?
Oh, I didn't think you were going that way. I love Lethal Weapon 2.
I do. I think it's better than the first.
I think that too, but I think the reason is because I saw 2 before I saw 1.
That is true, and I also saw 2 before I saw 1, so that could have a lot to do with it.
That probably has a lot to do.
And 100% Bourne Ultimatum over all of them.
I will go to the mat for the Back to the Future sequels as being underrated. I love them.
Yes.
Part 2, yes, for sure. Part 3,
I love Part 3 also.
Part 3 is fantastic too.
There's nothing bad about it. The way that they are able to take the same scene and play it 3 different ways throughout all 3 movies, I love it. It is one of the few trilogies that if you have the chance to watch them back to back to back, it's so rewarding.
It's really fun.
It's the same movie 3 times.
I also think that The Last Crusade really gives a lot of fight to Raiders of the Lost Ark. I love
Temple of Doom.
Yeah. I don't think that's underrated at all.
Temple of Doom is actually really good. I hate that gets shit on.
There's nothing wrong with Temple of Doom.
I think Temple of Doom is the one that's underrated in that.
Temple of Doom trilogy is the outlier tonally. It's
super funny. It's so good.
Yeah.
Super racist. It's super racist today.
Well, Temple of Doom feels weird because you got Spielberg and George Lucas who don't usually go for that tone, like going through like shitty periods of their life, so they're in like a meaner mood than normal, and it just doesn't seem natural to them. Like I feel like it's forcing that a little bit. Still fun, just.
Clayton, did you just say that it's racist today? Because it was racist then too.
It's racist. Clayton, birth of a nation.
We just didn't care as much.
We just didn't catch up.
But it's when I was younger, I was like, oh, this is so funny, and then now I'm like,
now you're like,
oh my god, you were monsters.
You know what my underrated is going to be?
Go ahead.
Transform.
The Godfather Part 2.
Oh,
what'd you say?
You're close, but that's not underrated because everybody loves that and thinks it's better than the first one, which is ridiculous. But no, it's Godfather 3. Okay. Because I think Godfather 3 really gets shit on a lot because the first 2 are like top 20 level films of all time.
I think Godfather is good.
I think it's not nearly as good. No, because those 2, very, very few ever made are as good as Godfather 1 and 2.
I will give it credit for being a little different. Like it has that like almost cartoony violence aspect to it. Like it's way more violent, it feels, than the other 2. Mm-hmm. Sofia Coppola's as bad as advertised. That doesn't change. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just, I don't know. I'm not as big on the first 2, so I wasn't like, I need more. So I think if you were,
I know it's bad because I have been revisiting stuff for ACCA 1990 that's still underway right now if you guys want to watch stuff to get your ballots in, but I have been dreading getting to Godfather 3. Like I've been like avoiding it like the plague.
I'm gonna watch Ghost today, I think.
Oh, it was on literally right before I came to the podcast.
I know it's been on, and I've never caught it to watch from the beginning again. I want to watch it from the beginning, so I have the Blu-ray.
Can I also just...
that has one of the saddest openings.
Yeah, I guess that counts.
Which one? What was it?
Ghost.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's 20 minutes in.
Do we need to not spoil what happens, Mark?
Yeah. Can I say, by the way, like, just super out of context, left field, doesn't even really matter. Literally, because I was watching Ghost before I got on podcast... Watch Ghost, Karen, and tell me what the hell Demi Moore is wearing at the end of Ghost. Like it's like a romper or something that makes no like. And I was watching. I was like, what the hell is she wearing? I was watching with Jessica. I was like, is that a romper? Is that like the '90s version of the romper? And there's like a bow in the front of it. It's really really bad, and I don't understand. Like, just watch it for
90s fashion.
FYC costume design, right? Like definitely go for it.
Who was the costume designer on that? Now I gotta look.
It was her personal collection.
Also underrated because I think it's better than the first, but everyone knows I don't like the first that much. Blade Runner 2049, definitely.
I definitely like it better than the first one.
Yeah.
Mark, how do you feel about Major League 2?
No, not
good. I was about to say.
Predator 2.
Is that Back to the Minors?
No, 3 is Back to the Minors.
3 is Back.
Oh, okay.
They're not even the Indians in the third one.
Oh my god.
Overrated sequels. I'm ready to say it. Spider-Man 2.
Nope, you're wrong.
Wrong.
No, I agree with you.
Blown up. And so before Dark Knight, people were like, best superhero film of all time. It's bullshit.
It's not the best superhero film of all time.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's good. I guess I'm in the between. Like, I guess it is a little overrated. It's still good.
Oh, another underrated sequel, How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Whatever.
So good.
Yeah,
that whole
trilogy. The third one's okay.
And I'm also going to say overrated. I don't know if this really counts as a sequel because it's a whole franchise. Skyfall.
No, Skyfall's great. Skyfall and Casino Royale are the two best
of the whole Bond franchise. Oh, I mean they're up there.
If you want to go underrated throughout the franchise, Honor Majesty's Secret Service. Well, underrated. It gets shit on because of the one-off Bond.
Do you?
Oh, fun fact. So Ruth Morley did the costumes for Ghost.
She has 7 Oscars.
She also did. Well, she was nominated for 1 for The Miracle Worker, but she also did Parenthood, The Money Pit, and Tootsie. And Kramer versus Kramer.
Tootsie makes perfect sense now that I'm watching Ghost. Yeah.
There you go.
And she did Annie Hall. There you go.
Because Whoopi's outfits are actually really fun in Ghost, but that Demi Moore romper, man, please watch it like just for a second when we're done with this.
Oh no, I know exactly what you're talking
and there's
about.
A bow in the front, like it's like a bow tie in the front. I'm like, what is this?
It does not make her. It doesn't fit with what we know of her character at all.
What's going on?
Doesn't work.
She's like waiting home. By the way, can we also just out of context here as a story plot? Literally, Tony Goldwyn goes to Whoopi Goldberg's house to murder her just hours before and knows he's going to Molly's house at 11 o'clock. And she goes there to wait for him to get there. And then is surprised when he knocks on the door and shoots through the door. Like they call the police and they're like, all right, send someone, please hurry. Like, you go to the police station. Don't have to stand there and wait, but that's whatever. Would you guys, by the way, would you consider Mad Max Fury Road a sequel? Or is it a reboot?
I think it's a sequel.
It's a sequel where they recast the title character.
Yeah. I think it's the third
installment?
I think that's been said, too.
Or the fourth
installment. Is it the fourth?
You have Mad Max, Road Warrior, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah, we're way beyond Thunderdome now.
There's Mad Max in 79, Road Warrior 81, and then
Beyond Thunderdome.
Whenever that is.
Mad Max was first? I thought Road Warrior was for some reason.
No.
Okay.
Road Warrior's second.
Oh, shit. Okay.
No.
It doesn't matter that much.
No, it doesn't.
This might be controversial to say overrated. Winter Soldier.
That is very controversial.
Overrated.
Like it's like some people also by that moment said best Marvel movie we've had.
Right.
It was different. I gave him credit for that.
Yeah.
It's properly rated.
I think Before Sunset and Before Midnight are both better than Before Sunrise.
I think Before Midnight is overrated.
I think that whole trilogy is overrated.
What?
Ooh, you fuck right off, Mark.
Yes.
Before Sunset is the best one.
You hate love. That's.
I think I go Sunset, Sunrise, Midnight.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
This is really weird to say, would you say Toy Story 2 is underrated?
Yes, I love Toy Story.
Yep.
I think it's overrated.
When the Sarah McLachlan song sequence is one of my favorite Pixar sequences of all time.
Wait, Mark, what's your order of the Toy Stories?
3, 1, 2.
3, 1, 2, 4?
No, there is no 4.
Oh God.
I
have a 4-way tie.
Literally, it's the only franchise I've given 4 stars to every single one of them.
Yeah, I think I have the same breakdown as
4 that much.
Yes.
Amazing. But if I had to split hairs,
they're all great. They're literally, it's I think arguably the best franchise that's ever been created.
It is the best franchise ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3, I think
it's the only franchise of more than 3 films where every one of them is great.
3, 1, 2, 4.
Why do you hate 4 so much? This is just curiosity.
First of all, it's not good, and second of all, it should not exist because 3 was perfect.
Listen,
4 is beautiful.
I agree.
Excuse me.
When I heard about 4, I was like, no, because 3 ended amazing.
Same way, and they found.
However, so wait, can you just tell me what you don't like? Do you not like?
I don't like any of it, really. Any of it.
Villain, or there is no villain.
No, I hate that it exists. I hated the whole movie, and I really hated the ending. You took you took where the franchise ended perfectly in 3, and then do an ending in 4 where
then evolve the characters.
There's going to be a 5.
But here's the thing. Okay,
you almost have to do a 5 to correct 4 now.
I'd argue.
I have to say something.
Wait, hold on. Go ahead, Karen. Then I'll go.
Here's the thing. Yeah. Yes, I love Toy Story 3, and I think it ends beautifully. Yeah. But what I love about the way Toy Story 4 opens up this world is you've got this little girl, Bonnie, who's got all these toys. She doesn't give a crap about a cowboy. She's this little girl who has all this other stuff that she wants to play with. And so
it evolved the characters, it evolved the time, and
exactly.
And I'd argue, Mark, I would be probably where you are exactly if 4 doesn't end in the exact way it ends. If he gets on that Winnebago, then I'm like, this is the worst of the franchise. And even though at that point it was good, I would have been like, oh no, I'm like not on board with it. This was for nothing. But because exactly where it ends, then I'm like, this is.
And it's because
you guys rank them.
That girl doesn't care about Woody. She doesn't have the connection to him that he had with Andy. And so it's actually sad. It's a really tragic story if Woody gets back on that Winnebago.
So tell me what's your guys' order?
I think
I told you.
Well, what did you say? I didn't hear you.
4-way tie, she said.
4-way tie. I know you hate ties, but I love them all.
I give all them 4 stars, but I think I do 3, 1,
2, 4. That's the right order.
4, and I love 4, and I still love 4.
Same.
But
that's why I hate ranking stuff like this, because if I say that 4 is my 4th favorite, then it suggests that I don't like it. But I really do love them all the same for different reasons.
We're grown-ups, and I understand.
Yeah, we can do it. We're right and Mark's wrong. It's okay.
No, actually, no. If I'm really being honest with myself, no. My order is 3, 2, 4, 1. 1 might be the. And I think 1 ranks high because it's away from you. First. No, and listen, it's still 4 stars. I think because I put it so high, because again, Lethal Weapon 2 syndrome. It's the first one we see, and we have never seen animation like that before. So I think it's more of a meaning more than it is actual. Because if you watch 1 now, graphics wise, it just does not hold up to 3 is hands down the most beautiful of all of them.
Readers, you can't. We're not on video this week, but if you would see Mark's wearing a red hat that says "Make Toy Story a trilogy again."
No, it's really good. Just round this out. Dark Knight is on this list.
Properly rated.
I'm pulling. I think it's appropriately rated. Yeah. I think it's not 4. It's not 4 stars for me though.
I think it still is for me.
I still think it's a tad too long. Hellboy 2, but all Hellboys are bad, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I'm indifferent to Hellboy.
Spider-Man 2. This is for Karen and Mark, not for Joey and me. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Never went True Words said.
Overrated.
Oh, that's my favorite of the franchise.
Did you read the books?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why do you not?
There's never been more judgment in Karen's voice.
I love Sirius Black. He's my favorite.
By the way, hold on, Joey.
I do too. The problem is that 3 is my favorite book, and I hate what Alfonso Cuarón did to the movie.
Okay, so then I have to preface this and say maybe this is a Lethal Weapon 2 thing. I saw the first 5 movies before reading any of the books, and then read all the books before and caught up to 6 or whatever it was.
Okay, that actually makes sense because my experience has been that people who were into the books first got to 3 and didn't like it. Okay. And because the first 2 really feel like the books. They feel like the way that you read the books, and they're just this whimsical, crazy, beautiful world. And then you get to 3 and it's like dark and gritty, and it really sticks out. Production, like from the look of it, the tone, everything about it. They completely changed what Professor Flitwick looked like for no reason whatsoever. They take out major pieces of information that would
do that in all of them, though. That's the thing that I realized because the way that I did it, I got to kind of have a mix of it, and I realized when I went back and watched 1 through 5 after I read them, or actually it wasn't that. It was once I saw 6, 7, 8, whatever, I was like, oh my God, they're leaving out all this and that. And they do that with, all of them because they have to. It's book to movie, but
the first one that really did that though was Prisoner of Azkaban because
it's getting longer though, right?
Because the first 2, they had to. Yeah, the first 2 they really were able to stick with the most of the important pieces.
I think I've said this on a podcast before, but I had a friend because I've never been into the Harry Potter franchise or whatever, and he was like so surprised I didn't like it because I was loving Lord of the Rings and all that stuff. And the one he made me buy, because at that time like movie stores weren't really renting anymore. It was still in that like I don't know when movie stores were really out of the game, but I wasn't renting anymore. And I was buying movies every Tuesday from Best Buy because that was the cheapest day you could buy movies.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers that stuff.
Yep. Every day. Every week.
Still do that.
I think they still might do that, but they're still not. They're not cheap though, like they used to be. Because the new releases were $15.99. I think that's what it was, and it was on DVD, not Blu-ray. Blu-rays are like $20 on Tuesdays or whatever.
You forget when the indie movies would come out and they'd be $24.99.
Yeah, exactly.
It would sell less.
Yep. Right. So the reason I bring that up because I remember going, and he made me buy because he said this is going to be the one that brought me to the dark side to watch Goblet of Fire. He said, "You watch Goblet of Fire, I swear you'll like this. Then you'll be on board." And I didn't.
That's not where I would have started somebody.
But okay. Started you with the first one.
Well, I saw the first one though. So I saw the first one. I was like, oh, I'm just not on board with this. I didn't like it. And he maybe just skipped to Goblet of Fire, and I was like, okay, what the hell is this?
No,
it's like whatever. But I'm gonna end up
my second favorite.
I'm gonna end up watching it again because Sophia wants to probably watch it. She's been listening to the audiobook, so
just do it in the right order.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I will.
1 through I guess 8 if it's movies.
Also, I don't know if this is underrated as well, but X2, X-Men United. Would you say Two Towers is underrated? I think it is.
What?
I don't think we talked about Two Towers enough.
They're all one movie.
They're not.
Yeah.
It's one movie. Shut up.
Nope. I think obviously Return of the King I think is an all-timer. I think Two Towers is the second. God. And actually not that big on Fellowship. I think Fellowship
I love all 3 of them. I do consider it one movie, but I really like the Two Towers section a lot.
My favorite is actually Fellowship.
Fellowship, I think I'm surprised I kept going after Fellowship in retrospect.
You suck.
And Terminator 2.
I'm surprised I kept going after Fellowship, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah, you don't get to talk about this.
I will never stop talking.
Do you consider Silence of the Lambs a sequel?
No.
Not really, but it, I guess technically is.
I mean, in current times it counts as one, but it wasn't made as one, so no, I don't count it.
I don't know.
I also don't consider Hannibal a sequel to Silence of the Lambs.
Sure. So. I think because they made Red Dragon, you can probably say no, it's not a sequel.
The irony is Red Dragon's the only one that's particularly close to the book. I mean, Silence of the Lambs is okay.
Yeah,
Red Dragon is Brett Ratner, so he just filmed the book.
Red Dragon is actually my favorite of the books.
It's a good book. It's a really good book.
I've never read any of them.
Oh, they're good. And Red Dragon is... Oof.
Yeah, Red Dragon's a good book. Silence is a great book. Yeah. Hannibal's okay. And then Hannibal Rising's terrible. And the movie was terrible also.
Thoughts on Superman 2?
Overrated, but good.
The Christopher Reeve one? I love that movie. Actually, it's so funny. I was just talking about this yesterday. I saw Superman 2 before Superman, and we had a copy. Yeah, and we had a copy of Superman 2 at home. And, you know, when you're a kid, you just kind of watch what you have.
Stop. Don't say you had a copy. You had a VHS tape.
It was a bootleg, VHS tape that was a bootleg copy of the movie.
I need you to preface that with VHS because it makes it.
Okay, we had a VHS.
Readers will think that it was in the days when you used to like copy on your DVD player on your laptop. Which, by the way, Jessica said to me yesterday, she was like, "Just play it on your laptop." I was like, "Play what?" She was like, "On the DVD player." I was like, "I don't have a DVD player on my laptop." She goes, "Wait, what?"
Oh, mine does.
No, mine doesn't.
Yeah, mine doesn't.
I was really surprised. Sorry, I bought a new car this week. It has a CD player in it. I was like, what?
They're still in some. My car has a CD player, too.
I didn't think they were. My car's a 2020. Yeah. I didn't think it would have it. But anyway. But yes, so VHS, bootleg copy. Wow. But, you know, when you're a kid, you just watch what you have at your house. Well, we did because we didn't have streaming services. And we had Superman 2, and that was one of the like 5 or 6 movies that we watched endlessly. And I love Superman 2. I like it more than Superman because I saw it so many times.
Thoughts on Christmas Vacation?
Meh.
It's great, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's not Christmas until you watch Christmas Vacation.
That's a lie.
It's a
Christmas Story.
My second favorite of the vacation movies, yeah.
I don't like any of the vacation movies. Jessica loves them. Yeah, man,
the first one's solid.
Just not.
The first one's great.
Wrath of Khan, Star Trek 2.
Yes.
Good.
Amazing. Yeah. The best of the Star Trek movies.
I still lean Search of Spock, but
no one does that.
I love.
No one likes Search of Spock more than the Wrath of Khan.
I like Search for Spock.
We found the only 2 people who like odd numbered Star Trek movies.
That's the first one I saw in theaters of the Star Trek franchise. So I think that's.
You know what's the first one I saw in the theater and why I think it's kind of my favorite, but it's definitely not for the right reasons.
Don't say Voyage Home because
no, definitely not. But I don't know.
I love Voyage Home.
Any better? It's The Undiscovered Country.
Oh God, it's worse.
That's like the 5th one, right?
Yeah.
I like the odd-numbered Star Trek movies are bad. The even-numbered ones are good.
Voyage is so bad.
I love Voyage.
Honestly, my favorite is First Contact. Love First Contact, even though it's a ripoff.
That one's good.
Yeah, I don't.
That one's good, but oh man, Wrath of Khan, man.
Comes in, I'm not on board anymore.
I have the problem with it being the first one I saw. Also,
is First Contact the one with the Borg?
Yeah.
I like First Contact.
It's aliens. It's just aliens. Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Wait, I want to just jump back for a second. So, Mark, the first one you saw was The Search for Spock. You didn't see The Wrath of Khan in theaters?
I didn't. I wasn't. My family wasn't big Star Trek people. We were big Star Wars people, but Star Trek wasn't something that I'd ever seen the series or anything, like that. So 3 was my introduction to the characters, and which is odd, right? Because you kind of need 2, and I can kind of agree that 2 is probably the best because that ending of 2 is phenomenal. But yeah. No, that was the first one I saw.
It's so funny because we were big, we just liked all of it. So we were big Star Wars and Star Trek fans. I don't think I knew until high school that there was this us versus them thing, and that you weren't supposed to like them both. I think this
is Karen coming out of the closet as a Trekkie. I think this is totally what this moment is.
It might be.
Karen, I accept you for who you are. It's fine.
Thank you.
Let me round this out. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh my God. One of my favorites ever.
It better than original?
Better than the High Plains Drifter and whatever the hang.
I don't know what the order is.
I always get it wrong.
It says it's the third film.
Yeah, it's like $1 for a few dollars more, and then Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I think is the trilogy. The No Name. It
says it's the third one in there. So
it's loosely, and the only reason I think it's kind of considered that is Eastwood plays the man with no name or whatever the hell. Otherwise, it really doesn't tie anything together with the other 2. But it's one of my top 5 favorite westerns.
This is for the rest of you, not for me. From Russia with Love over Dr. No?
No.
Yes.
Not for me.
Someone's I'm reading an article in Time about this. They said From Russia with Love is arguably the best Bond film.
Yeah, It's one of
It's up there.
It's 5.
It's
one of them, yeah.
Goldfinger's still the best in my opinion.
Goldfinger's one of the best. From Russia with Love is over Dr. No because it's fully formed. Like the gadgets are there. Dr. No is more just a spy movie.
Is Sean Connery your definitive Bond, by the way?
Oh, God, yes.
Okay, good. All right.
Yes.
Just want to make sure we're on the same page.
No question.
Listen, and the only reason I love GoldenEye is because it gave us the best video game of all time. That's the only reason why I love GoldenEye.
No, the best Pierce Brosnan is Tomorrow Never Dies.
Here's why the GoldenEye video game is the worst game of all time.
What?
This is much worse.
Bear with me. I'm left-handed.
So am I.
Oh yeah.
God.
Yep.
Learn to hold the Nintendo 64 controller, you doofus.
No, it was the sighting. The sight was aimed for a right-hand person's eye. I don't have that eye. And they didn't have the option to flip to a left.
I'm with Mark on this one.
Oh my God.
This explains a lot. We're both lefties. Now I get it.
Mark is bitch. I have to make that really clear before I get like Me Too'd on this podcast.
I'm left-handed too, and I don't remember there being a problem. So maybe you're just bad-handed.
I think it's an age gap here.
That's true.
Clayton, are you left-handed or right-handed?
Am I left-handed or right-handed? I'm right-handed, like a real person.
He's the only one.
Yeah, look, that's so weird. You're in the minority on this one.
Naturally.
Well, but normally we're what? I think lefties are 12% of the population.
12% is left-handed.
Yeah.
So so statistically, it should be flipped.
I was trying to figure out, like especially when Noah and Sophia like were starting to like hold stuff. I was like, when is like, is it just natural? Like, do you just is the way you grab stuff? Is the way you hand like what determines it or whatever? And I was trying to see like when it was going to happen for them, and like then they were both right-handed. I was like,
I was about to say if you're still waiting,
it was anticlimactic at that point. I was like, okay. All right. Look, I'm sorry. I feel bad that I didn't get to these. Let me just round it out. Sorry.
Do quickly.
Let's do one of them.
Okay. Cinephile Showdowns from Ethan May. Yeah. Actors Edition. Leonardo DiCaprio, Wolf of Wall Street, or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Ooh, that's good. I think I'm going to say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think it's his best. I'm not even lying. I'm
going to say Wolf. They're 1-2.
I'm not gonna lie. I think he's so good in What's Possible. And listen, and the movie-wise, we know what the better movie is here.
If we're talking performances, I would agree it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If we're talking characters, I would say Wolf of Wall Street.
Well, that's fair. One's real, one is not.
Well, no, not just because of that. Like, I could write a whole essay about it.
Jim Carrey in Truman Show or Eternal Sunshine? Eternal Sunshine. It's his best. It's his best.
Performance?
Yeah, performance.
Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah. It's his best. Mm-hmm. And Truman Show, I'd argue that Truman Show is probably even a tad overrated in his acting. And listen, he's good in it, but he doesn't quite land everything. This was his first dramatic role. He's obviously
I think that's why he gets so much credit for it, because of what it had followed. Because
obviously he of his dramatic arcs, Truman Show is the least of them. And that's not saying Truman Show is bad, because Man on the Moon, he's better. Eternal Sunshine, he's better. I think he's great in I Love You, Philip Morris. I think it's just kind of his stuff. Jessica Chastain.
And don't forget the classic number 23. Oh, yeah. Yes. I mean, woo.
And what's that? True Crimes or whatever that straight to crap was.
Oh, there's plenty of bad ones.
Yeah. Jessica Chastain in Zero Dark 30 or Miss Sloane?
Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30.
Yeah, Miss Sloane is great. I love Miss Sloane.
I do too.
Viola Davis in Widows or Fences? It's Fences.
Widows.
She's better in Fences.
I guess Fences.
Again, better performance in Fences, better character in Widows.
Better character Widows for sure. I'd say better movie, even probably Widows.
Widows is the better movie as well.
Yeah, but I love Fences. Yeah. Both 3.5 stars. He also gives us Cinephile Showdown, 12 Years a Slave or Widows?
12 Years a Slave. 12 Years a Slave.
12 Years a Slave.
Arrival or Gravity?
Gravity.
That's 2 of my top 10 of the decade.
It's not tough at all. It's Gravity.
Gravity was my number 3 of the decade, so my answer is Gravity. But they're both like all-timers for me.
Ooh, yeah.
Can't stand Arrival.
Oh, really? You didn't like Arrival?
I thought we've talked about this.
I don't think I've ever.
You were silent for that whole earlier part of this podcast. Then I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, because I thought you knew my feelings on Arrival.
You're a horrible person.
I'll write about it.
Gravity, definitely the better technical film. Better story is Arrival. Better performance is Amy Adams. I have to say Gravity because literally everything I compare space movies now is to Gravity.
It's crazy that I picked Arrival. I'm indifferent to both of them.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love both tremendously.
Yeah. Marriage Story or Squid and the Whale? Squid and the Whale.
Marriage Story.
I don't like either of them, but I prefer Marriage Story.
Joey got that.
Yeah. You don't like Squid and the Whale?
No.
Squid and the Whale was all right.
Little Children or Revolutionary Road?
Little Children's not close.
Little Children.
Little Children. I love them both. Yeah, but Little Children.
Yeah, Little Children.
You heard it here, folks. Clayton loves Little Children.
Better.
Perhaps.
What's the better Kate Winslet performance?
Little Children.
Oh, Revolutionary.
No, I think it's Revolutionary. I think.
Yeah. I think Revolutionary Road is one of her best performances ever.
Yeah, I think it's that and Eternal Sunshine are like 1, 2. Cinephile Showdowns, directors, Denis Villeneuve, Prisoners or Sicario? Better director.
Prisoners.
Sicario for direction.
Yeah, I go Sicario too.
Sicario's the better directed movie. Prisoners is the better movie.
Yeah,
that's Joey logic. I'm good there. Yeah. Mario Heller, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, or Can You Ever Forgive Me? Beautiful Day by a lot.
Beautiful Day by a lot.
Can you ever forgive me?
By a lot.
Beautiful Day by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know which one you're talking about, Mark?
Yeah, now I know. That's the real one, not the doc.
Spike.
So the fake movie is the real one.
Right. Sorry, that's the real one.
Spike Lee, Do the Right Thing, or Malcolm X?
Do the Right Thing.
I need to revisit.
I just watched Malcolm X again a couple weeks ago.
I think it's his masterpiece. I'm saying Malcolm X.
No.
All right.
Adam
I don't know. I was trying to get not Black Klansman. What was I going to say? Never mind. Anyway, go on. I don't know. Go on.
Adam McKay, Vice or Big Short? Suicide.
Oh man.
No, I guess Vice.
The Big Short is better.
I say Vice probably because Christian Bale alone.
I hate Vice. It's terrible.
I hate both of them.
I love The Big Short.
And Alfonso Cuarón, Gravity or Roma?
Gravity.
Directed?
I would say Gravity too, but
I think I have to say Roma on direction. I think you don't give that story to someone else and like have someone have the balls to make it that way. Like just like the opening scene alone, I'm just like it's Roma. But they're both masterpieces. So
yeah, Roma's gonna always be one of those movies that I admire the shit out of it. I think it's amazingly made and performed, but I just am bored by it, and I don't
agree. I appreciate everything about it. The craftsmanship is great.
Yeah,
the story didn't captivate me. I was there, but it was very much like a clinical eye I was watching it with.
Like it's one of those movies that if you see clips of it or like a trailer of it, it's like, oh my god, what amazing movie. But then you sit through it and you're like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Last question, and then we're wrapping up. Guillermo and I, hey guys, question for the next podcast: how will Oscar campaign change this year? Telluride canceled. It will be hard to do Q&A screenings. Thoughts? It's gonna be.
Oh, they're doing everything virtual. So
if anything, I think it'll be interesting. I think people like Guillermo, regular readers that we have, are going to be able to really see how the sausage is made because you're going to be able to see a lot of the video conferences or Q&A.
Yeah, those Zoom Q&As they've been doing. Yeah,
we're gonna we'll probably do. I can only imagine how busy we're going to be.
Yeah,
that they're going to be like, hey, can you do a circuit?
I mean, extras. I've already been invited to a bunch of them. Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot.
Do more screenings online.
Yeah, I did one for 5 Bloods. It's interesting. I'm not sure.
What screenings online here? Yeah. Trying to watch a movie.
Right? Just trying to see something here. God damn it.
Yeah.
Mark, I recommended dozens of movies to you that you're just not watching.
Yeah, probably not.
He doesn't want to watch Cop Out.
Right. I'm talking about 2020 releases.
Yeah. All right. As always, got to get my movies from you guys to enter into the database. What do you got?
Markiverse.
Man.
Maybe something we talked about here.
Yeah. How about Paths of Glory? Do you have that in there?
Ooh, I don't know. Let's see. Paths of Glory. I think you actually requested this. Maybe
I probably have. I love
because as soon as I typed it, it came up as like I previously typed it. So
all right. So if that's already in there, how about All Quiet on the Western Front?
I do have Paths of Glory.
Okay, good.
And you said All Quiet on the Western Front. I don't think that's in there. Okay. Karen?
How about Strangers on a Train?
Ooh, I don't think that's in there. Strangers on a Train. Let's see. Oh, you have yours?
Real Genius. I know we've mentioned it a few times, but I don't think.
Greg Kinnear.
No, that's Val Kilmer.
Oh, no. What am I thinking of? Flash of Genius.
Flash of Genius.
I feel like I've done that before.
I mean, you should put in Flash of Genius, too, while you're there. Just why not?
I'm doing Real Genius.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
It's the one about the guy who invented windshield wipers, automated ones.
Oh, I typed this in wrong. I was like, it told me that I couldn't find All Quiet on the Western Front. And I was like, wait a minute. But I typed it in wrong. I put All the Quiet.
All the Quiet on all the
Quiets.
All the Quiets. Wait, why isn't it coming? Wait, hold on. All Quiet on the Western Front, right?
Yeah. All Quiet on the Western Front.
Wait, Quiet?
Can you search director or something as a backdoor?
No, but that's weird that it wouldn't. Let me see. All right. Well,
that air is fun.
I'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah.
Strangers on a Train, by the way, tagline. It starts with a shriek of a train whistle and ends with shrieking excitement.
It does.
Real Genius is, who else can turn lasers into light shows, aircraft into armchairs, and high tech into hijinks?
The hell?
I mean, that's not a good tagline for a great movie.
It's pretty bad.
I mean, the laser is part of the plot, but everything else is nonsense.
Yeah. Oh, Lost Boys. I don't know. I just thought of Lost Boys. I just said it and it came up.
Mark, in 2016, Roger Donaldson was going to remake All Quiet on the Western Front with Travis Fimmel.
Really?
He did not.
Who's Travis Fimmel?
Travis Fimmel is a generic-looking white dude from Australia.
He's an actor.
Yes.
He is a person.
He was in Warcraft and Lean on Pete.
Mark, do you like The Fifth Element?
I did not like it very much when I saw it in the 90s. I thought it was a little too much.
I don't like that movie because I dated a guy who said it was his favorite movie of all time, and he never stopped talking about it. And I was like, and then he made me watch it. Yeah, and then he made me watch it, and I was like, why do you love this?
And then I got mad at you.
Pretty much, and then we broke up.
Do it.
Yeah. Bruce Willis strikes again. All right, Mark, where can they follow you?
So this week, if you don't mind, I'm going to, instead of a shout out for myself, I'm going to shout out the kid Caleb on YouTube. That is my son's YouTube channel. He's an aspiring film editor, and he's been putting together a lot of short films and things.
You must be the male Thelma Schoonmaker?
Right. So it's the kid Caleb, and Caleb is with a K.
So Mark wants strange adults to follow his child on the internet.
Listen. Yeah. I had to have a long conversation with him about it.
I'm subscribing right now to his channel.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
I'm creating a second profile, and I'm going to name it "I Have Candy Get in My Van."
That's fine. He doesn't care.
Wait, Mark. How old is Caleb, by the way?
Caleb's 12.
He's 12. Okay. Sophia's been asking me, can she start a YouTube channel? I've been very vehemently saying no.
I know. I'm very careful about what is filmed and whatnot. But
has he done his fan cut of Showgirls yet?
No, but we do have The Revenge out there, which is an award-winning short film we made, and we're working on another one right now. So.
Which festival won its award?
It won the Woodside Lane Neighborhood Award. It's the best film made in the neighborhood. So
was there another filming competition?
No, not at the time. No.
So it's like this Oscar season.
Yeah, basically.
I got you.
Joey?
At Joey Magatin, Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, leaving comments on Caleb's page shortly.
Do not troll that kid.
I'm just going to apologize on behalf of his father, and he'll be my new best friend now.
God.
Your dad embarrasses you too? I'm like, all the time.
God. Karen.
I am on Twitter and Instagram at Karen M. Peterson.
Mark, have you ever considered that your children would like this podcast because we just make fun of you the whole time?
Caleb listens to it a lot.
Oh, there we go. He's into it.
I'm the one who inspired him to be an editor. He was
like, I want to favorite episode.
Probably he's like, can you ask Clayton to teach me how to make podcasts? I'm like, dude, not yet.
Oh, I would 100% do it. Yes.
It's a very short lesson.
No,
email this guy.
Tell him this. Tell him I will 100% have him on. I'll do a podcast for Award Circuit with him. I swear, I mean that 100%.
Oh my gosh, you should get him and Sophia.
Yeah, it'd be him, Sophia, and it would be and I guess you as dad. It'll be the four of us on a podcast, and we'll do.
That'd be awesome. We should do like a Disney.
That'd be so cute.
Disney. Or wait, what is Sophia? She watched a bunch of Marvel lately or something.
She watched a lot of horror.
She doesn't watch a lot of. She'll talk a lot about horror movies. She doesn't watch a lot of.
Yeah, that's all Caleb and Luke like.
Yeah.
So figure out like it's so hard because there's so many horror films that have sex and nudity.
Pick a film for them to do.
Yes.
Just no sex, no nudity, and preferred limited drug use. Those are the ones I look for.
Oh, we're in agreement, Karen. Sinister.
The drug use is pretty easy to get past because Sophia just thinks it's cigarettes always. So I'm just like, oh.
Why are they acting so weird after that cigarette?
She's also under the impression right now that cigarettes are illegal, and I'm just letting her go with that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right, and I'm Clayton. You can follow me at Award Circuit. Download the Stitch Radio, Spotify, iTunes. Go to awardcircuit.com for your entertainment news. Go to the predictions under the awards section at the top, and then bring you to the official awards prediction page where you can see Emmy predictions and everything else. Emmy nominations are next Tuesday, so get ready for that. I have to finish up the final predictions. All the comedy stuff is pretty much done, though. And the Outlander crew on Twitter.
I gotta say, I went and gave that dude a half star just because of that.
Just under
just to balance it out a little bit. The universe was asking for it.
God, like I'm being tormented.
Listen, I am all for being passionate about something and having a fandom, but shouldn't a little logic be in there as well?
Well, you know what's so crazy about it is that it's not young. Like I would expect this from tweens. These are older women.
Yeah,
like going hard.
I mean,
or quoting that he does like volunteer work. And when's the last time I raised money for cancer? Like I was like, oh shit, like that's what you think this is about.
He's not just a better actor; he's a better person.
Like
it's a real heart.
And how dare you not recognize that the Emmys won't recognize?
Yeah, I mean,
wait,
it's just about like who plays the game the best. I'm like, yes, it's exactly how it works a lot of times.
Have you ever considered that maybe they're the mothers of all those Timothée Chalamet fans?
It could be, and then we know exactly what happened then.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm Clayton with everyone. Long podcast, but it's okay. See you at the movies. Bye.
So, take care.
Bye.
Circuit Breaker is brought to you by awardcircuit.com. Just plug in.